I'm Vernon Felton. I'm the senior editor at Bike Magazine. We're at the Kingdom Tap Room in St. Johnsbury, Vermont, near the Kingdom Trails, and today we're checking out Turner's RFX. This is the fourth version of that bike. It was actually one of the first kind of brawly, all-mountain enduro bikes that came out. They've been doing it for a long time. It's an all-carbon fiber bike. Our bike sells for $7,922, and that's with an XO1 build kit and NV wheels. You could lop off about $2,000 if you went with the regular stands. You can also get this bike for under $5,000, and if you want to spend a ton of money, you're a dentist or a lawyer, you can spend like $8,000 on it as well. But none of that really matters. What really matters is what happened on the trail. So what did happen with this bike?
Yeah, so generation 4, right? The first one was a horse link with a rocker.
Yeah.
The second one was a we can't do horse links walking beam thing.
Right.
Then it went to DW.
And it's still a DW Link bike.
DW Link,
still
but
Dave Weigel
but
design.
now carbon fiber.
Yes.
With a fair degree of like, high quality of finish on it, like really nicely sculpted, beefy rocker links and pretty solid frame front and rear.
Yeah, and Turner's only been in carbon now for a couple of years, so this is the kind of...
It's only their second carbon bike.
Right, the Czar came out first, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's sort of to the Turner tradition of making just rock solid stuff. All their aluminum stuff's always been just like industrial and burly and last forever kind of build.
They kind of foregone aesthetics in a way.
In a way, yeah. But then like sort of recreating their own aesthetic that has drawn a lot of people. I mean, Turner has a pretty strong following.
And what this one has, what the carbon one has above the aluminum DW Link version is that they have finally gone from bushings and the pivots to, at least in this model, from bushings and the pivots to bearings.
Yeah, this one rolls on enduro bearings, and that's the thing is that Dave Turner was a holdout on bushings for a long time, arguing that you didn't need bearings; they weren't really the right product for the application. But obviously, a lot of people have disagreed over the years, and I think most of us are pretty stoked to see that this thing's sporting bearings.
It just soaked up bumps like crazy. I just thought it was so plush and buttery through all the really rough stuff. I felt like it was a very active suspension, yet also felt like it was tough to get all the way to the bottom of it.
Now that said, so I mean, what do you guys think about that? Similar experience?
We're riding in some horrific conditions. Horrific, but not great conditions. Slippery, messy, greasy,
chunky.
Lots and lots and lots of routes that were very wet and very kind of hard to read just what you're doing at any given minute. And there were a couple bikes today that I really struggled with because of that, because you couldn't really tell what your wheels were doing at the best of times. And this was a very, very planted and just pointed where you had to go. And at the same time, you could kind of get some feedback from the suspension to let you know what you're doing. But in these conditions that you needed something that would just kind of like carpet over that stuff, it did a very good job.
Yeah, I agree.
Really competent bike.
Like I felt that it felt really nice and balanced. I mean, there are bikes that didn't feel so balanced in the test, like the Evil or the Sanction, that really were a little more aimed at downhill. And then there were bikes that were more kind of all around, like the Marin, and to some extent the Bronson. This felt like something in that category, but even more buttery.
It was a joy to climb on too.
Yeah.
I thought it just felt easy, just kind of
nice steep seat angle.
Yeah. Yep. It stood up nicely. The DW Link stuff.
Absolutely neutral pedaling. Doesn't care what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I think that as far as that goes, I mean, it's a very well balanced bike. Like Travis was saying, it's kind of trail bike in that way. Like it does climbing and descending very, very well. But it's definitely all mountain feeling for sure. Like you can really push it on this bike, I feel like.
What did you guys think about the components on this particular build kit, the XO1 kit?
I think it's solid.
Yeah, the fact that you can get this bike with GX, and it's, I mean, I'm not going to get the exact numbers right, but it's about $4,500. It's certainly sub $5,000. That's a really good price.
Yeah.
No. Well,
that's cool.
Are there any downsides to this bike?
Yes.
I had one. The only thing that I didn't like about this, and I have cried about the width of handlebars on smelter bikes.
Oh, thank you.
Being, we've had a couple, one 820 millimeter bar. This has a very beautiful Thompson stand, a very beautiful Thompson handlebar, but that Thompson handlebar feels like it's about, 740 maybe?
it's
Possibly.
750, I think.
Oh, 740. Give me a centimeter. Come on. Off the top of my head, that's not bad.
You're doing very well, Michael.
For the intent of the bike, for the terrain we're riding in, for just general the way things are,
Could be wider.
it's a narrow bar. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you can, again, if we just spec them wider, you can cut them down to
Yes.
size. Right?
Yes.
It's a good bike. It's a really interesting bike. In fact, you can check out the full review in our Bible bike test issue. If you want to see more bike test videos where we kind of talk about things like bearings and sometimes bikes, go to bikemag.com.